I think it has been a problem from the beginning where the sealing industry has been marginalized from any other form of exploitation of domestic animals or wildlife. Because it's easy to do, because it happens in a very concentrated period of time in a fairly restricted area, at least of this vast country, and it's very relatively easy to have access to it on the part of media and so on. So it has been easy to marginalize, to isolate the sealing industry from other forms of exploitation of animals. And yet when you start looking at other forms of exploitation of animals, you realize that really sealing is no different from any other form of exploitation of wildlife or livestock. There is an element of education and formation that probably needed to be improved, and I think we have been doing a very good job of that. You cannot expect to kill all animals 100% of the time instantaneously, but otherwise it's, the sealing is no different from other forms of killing other animals. There is probably a difference between invertebrates like lobster versus fish versus reptiles, and then you move into birds and mammals, and I tend to lump birds and mammals all in one large group, all of which can perceive pain or have some degree of consciousness and also can perceive pain. Again, that's a problem, I suppose, with the sealing industry, that some members of the public see seals as a charismatic species that is indeed very beautiful, and I grant you certainly quite intelligent, but they seem to see it in such a light that a good proportion of members of the public think that it should be left untouched, whereas it is no different from a white-tailed deer, a moose, a mallard duck, and so on, and it represents a resource that needs to be respected, but that should not be necessarily exempt from sustainable exploitation. The problem with this issue, I guess, especially on the part of animal rights people, is that they have focused on the killing process and never, they claim to have all the respect for the animals and they don't have the respect for the people. They have never gone to the extent of understanding better why those people in those coastal rural communities do what they are doing, the importance that this sealing industry represents to them, and the fact that these people are just like myself, like members of the general public. They are very decent people who are trying to do the best they can, and you don't have to spend much time in some of those rural communities to realize that you're talking with people who are as decent human beings, as intelligent human beings. As from that perspective, it remains to be a very important, the sealing industry is very important to them, and we have to respect them for that.